Hello, I'm Robert Holmberg. I'm a member of Science Outreach Athabasca. We're a group of scientists and people interested in science, and we promote science in various forms. This presentation, Some Questions About Photography, is part of a workshop series that we did between 2013 and 2019 on photography in the night sky. So this is one of a series of presentations about photography and about low light photography and other things. Okay, so in this presentation, we're going to talk about what is a photograph, what is a photographer, and why do we make photographs. So in photograph is derived from two Greek words, one photos, meaning light, and graphy to write, and so it's to write or to draw with light. Another way of looking at a definition of a photograph, it's a two-dimensional image made with light and a camera. And another thing that you can say is that a two-dimensional illustration or illusion of a three-dimensional reality made with light and a camera. And another way of looking at it, it's a frozen instant in time or a moment preserved. So in our presentations, this is then when we'd ask, what is your definition? And we would talk about it in the group. Okay, what is a photographer? Well, a simple answer is someone who makes photographs. But we also say, if you can turn on a tap, are you a plumber? And so if you can press a camera button, are you a photographer? And we talk about that. So from my perspective, there are differences between taking a snapshot and making a photograph. And the latter takes some skill and thought and design of what you're going to do. But there are your thoughts on what are the differences. Okay, this is the big part of this presentation is why do we make photographs? And it's basically about communication and documentation. And this old adage of a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we take it of important historical events, like the first, the last, the way it was. And this woman's taking a picture of her child as it's crawling for the first time. And various human ceremonies like this graduation photograph. And we use photographs in very many commercial or business purposes, especially in advertising. And we use print and electronic media for selling merchandise and such as fashion and food and glamour and sports and travel and family photograph portraits. So we also use photographs to change public attitude or social norms by invoking emotion such as pity, sympathy, hate, love, etc. Okay, so one of the things that I like talking about is if you're going to change public attitude, there was this case in the plight of homeless in New York City in 1889, and the newspaper at that time couldn't reproduce photographs. They had woodcuts. And there was the question of, is the woodcut an interpretation of reality, or is a photograph better because it supposedly is reality? So this was the woodcut that was printed in the newspaper, and here's the photograph of that the woodcut was made from, and you can see that they're very similar. The perspective is a bit changed, but it was hopefully reflecting reality of the homeless in New York City back then. So another example of changing social norms was environmental mercury in China. In Japan in 1972. This woman is bathing her majorly deformed daughter who is suffering from mercury poisoning. Here's a sample a man in China, a shopper who stopped some tanks in Tiananmen Square in 1989. Here's a case in 2015 talking about the plight of refugees coming into Europe, and a lot of them drowning, including this young child. I am a biologist, and in science, we often use it for documentation and communication about research. And these are daddy longlegs or harvestmen overwintering in mines and caves. And then we take photographs of things that our eyes cannot see directly and this is an electron microscope of a very small follicle mite that inhabits eyebrows of people. And then we take photographs of very fast objects that we cannot see with our own eyes. And this is a drops of milk going down. And I don't know exactly how they got the red, whether it was coloring to the surface of the milk or it was lighting. And then we can make photographs from areas where we cannot go ourselves. This is a satellite image of the South Pole, and it's also taken in wavelengths that we cannot normally see, but then converted it into other wavelengths that we can see. Then we can document inventories such as artwork. We can use it for artistic expression. This was a photograph involving Salvador Dali painting, and it was a collage of very many things at that time. Then we use it as memory aids. I used this when I was trying to fix this light switch and wondering where all the wires went. So I took a photograph of what it looked like originally and then copied it. And then, of course, we take photographs for fun. So then we talk about why do you make photographs? And this is the end of the slideshow. I hope you will watch other ones in this series. Thank you.